The Italian cast-on creates a beautiful tubular edge of 1x1 ribbing, with the stitches appearing to flow right over the edge. It will give your knits a beautiful, polished look, and unlike other tubular cast-ons, doesn't require starting with scrap yarn. For this cast-on, you will use needles 1 to 2 sizes smaller than you will use for your ribbing. Even if you're planning to use circular needles for your project, use straight needles for the cast-on. You'll need a tail 2 to 3 times longer than the desired width of your cast-on. Rather than starting with a slip knot, for this cast-on you can lay the yarn across your thumb and index finger with the tail over your thumb, insert your needle under the strand from left to right, and twist clockwise if your next stitch is a purl, and counterclockwise if your next stitch is a knit. I'm going to be working 1x1 ribbing, so my next stitch is a purl stitch. You can work the next stitch as a knit instead if you'd like to have a selvage stitch at each side. Now you're ready for your cast-on, with the first loop on your right needle, and your left hand set up slingshot style, with the working yarn over your index finger and the tail over your thumb. You have a diamond of space created by your thumb and index finger on the left side, and by the 2 strands of yarn on the right. To cast on a purl stitch, move the needle tip over and around the index finger strand, then up through the center of the diamond. This wraps the working yarn around the needle. Now move the needle tip over and around the thumb strand. Instead of going up through the diamond, continue past it and take the needle tip under the index finger strand, then up and around back to center. Even out your tension and return to your starting position. To cast on a knit stitch, move the needle tip over and around the thumb strand, then up through the center of the diamond. This wraps the tail yarn around the needle. Now move the needle tip over and around the index finger strand. Instead of going up through the diamond, continue past it and take the needle tip under the thumb strand, then up and around back to center. Return to your starting position, ready to cast on a new stitch. Now for another purl stitch. Go over and around the index finger strand, then up and back to center. Then over and around the thumb strand, and under and around the index finger strand, back to center. Now for another knit stitch. Go over and around the thumb strand, then up and back to center. Then over and around the index finger strand, and under and around the thumb strand, back to center. Repeat these steps until you have 1 less stitch than your desired final stitch count. Your last stitch is a backwards loop cast on to secure everything in place. Now you can either work a few rows with double knitting to create a tubular cast on, or you can go straight into ribbing. For the tubular cast on, slip the purl stitches purlwise with yarn in front and knit the knit stitches. Work 3 rows this way, then switch to your larger needle and start your ribbing as normal. This cast on takes some practice, but it's totally worth it for the beautiful result. Give it a try and subscribe for more knitting tutorials.